Hello, how you doing? My name is JD Slajchert, and I'm currently in Dr. Hassemer's ESS 9 course, and this is my final project with my coach right here, and his name is Coach.
My name is Coach Stock. Been an assistant coach here at UCSB now for, I think it's 19 full seasons, and I was a player in the early 90s here at UCSB as well for 3 years. So I've been here a total of 22 years.
And he's been a coach of mine for the last 2 seasons and helped recruit me to get to this point, and has agreed to do this project and help me in the interviewing process about drug abuse and athletes. So I thought he would be a professional in the field to help me accomplish that goal. So we're just going to get it started right here. So the first question would be, where are you from? And briefly talk about your upbringing involving basketball specifically or other sports you played.
So originally I'm from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Where in Wyoming I played 4 sports in high school: basketball, football, baseball, and soccer. After high school I went to a junior college for 1 season, and then I went to Fresno State for a season and then transferred to UCSB and finished my college career here. Once I graduated I played for Coach Jerry Pym, and he retired the same year that I graduated. So after that, Coach Williams, who is the current head coach, came on and he hired me on with his first year. So I've been with him his entire career here at UCSB.
Wow, that's awesome. I know you went to Fresno State. That's interesting.
One season.
Yeah, interesting. So in your career here, did you have any encounters with teammates or close friends involving drugs or alcohol, and how did they unfold?
Well, yeah, with I La Vista in the mix, for the last 22 years, and as a player, as a student athlete, there were times where there were parties and there were things going on that the team was involved with. Luckily for me, when I was a player and as a coach, we haven't had any major situations involving, the law or anything of that nature. But one thing we've always, with teams, is you're always trying to get the maximum performance, and we knew that drugs and alcohol and even performance-enhancing drugs can affect your performance in a negative way. So we've always tried, as a team and as a player first, we always tried to not do things that would help hurt us when we're on the court.
And how was that maybe different during the season rather than off-season or something like that?
Yeah, it always, when we were in season, there was always more of a focus not to party or not to do things that would affect your performance. And then obviously you don't want to do it when you're off season, but it just was more relaxed. There wasn't competition or games all the time. So it seemed like, not me personally, because I don't partake in drugs or alcohol, never have, but a lot of my teammates would work hard during the week, and then more on the weekends is when they would partake in, drinking is the main thing.
Definitely. So you would say, when I ask you how much do you think throughout your playing career you yourself or your teammates were affected on the court or in the classroom, that you yourself weren't affected directly as you didn't partake?
Well, not that I knew of, right? I'm sure some of the incidents happened where there was some of my teammates that might have had some issues. Mm-hmm. But me personally, because I was never the most physically gifted player, I always felt I needed an edge, and one of them was to take care of my body, and I knew if I didn't, that I would have no shot, no chance of playing. So that was always an emphasis for me. In fact, I would go the other way, where I would, want to take care of my body, get the extra rest, eat healthy, use the training room to, take care of anything that could help me get an edge. I took strength and conditioning very serious, where I would do anything and everything possible to try and gain an edge legally. Mm-hmm. So that when it came time to, compete for playing time, I felt like physically I was at my best.
Sure. And would you say, how much did your coaches handle such issues with the team involving drugs or alcohol?
Yeah, so when I was a player here, Coach Pym did a great job of education, where we knew as a team the effects it could have individually of your performance of drugs and alcohol and anything that you put in your body. But then also we were educated on what was good for us, what pregame meals, what to do after games, what to eat. In the off season, if you need to gain weight or if you need to lose weight and trim weight, we were educated and knew the consequences, both good and bad, of behavior regarding drugs and alcohol and anything of that nature. So that was helpful. And as a coach with Coach Williams, we do the same thing. We try and educate our teams and our players, and then Coach Williams is awesome, and he'll give you guys, the team, resources that can benefit you physically as well.
Sure.
So that's where we start, is that we want each one on the team to understand what they can do physically and mentally to be the best they can be. And obviously that is to stay away from drugs and alcohol,
right,
and anything that can negatively affect your body.
So kind of getting the knowledge prior altogether.
Yeah. So, you know, anything in life, the more you know, knowledge is power. So the more you know and understand what's going to happen, then you can make a calculated decision.
Mm-hmm.
And we hopefully, as a team, and then also if you can create a culture with your team that they help each other and hold each other accountable, that's obviously a plus too.
Sure.
That if your teammate, you know of a teammate who is wavering, who might want to take something illegal that could performance enhancing drugs, you can try and steer them from doing it. And so, you know, the best for us as coaches, the best thing for our team to do is to be able to monitor themselves, because the less we have to do as coaches, the better.
Sure. And so in your college experience, could you just briefly discuss the differences in the use of drugs or alcohol from teammates of yours or just all student athletes compared to regular students that we had as friends?
And I'm not a great resource for this, but from my observation, it seemed like a lot of the athletes would train very hard and they would party hard. There wasn't an in-between.
Sure.
Because of their competitive nature and just because of the culture and environment that men's basketball, you know, what it takes to be competitive.
Right.
So they always were very driven, whatever they did.
There's no medium.
Yeah, and I'm not saying the students that don't play sports aren't motivated at all. I just
Right.
wasn't around them as much, and so I didn't see their behavior as much. But the student athletes were definitely, of the ones, there was a lot of them, and the majority of them, you know, don't do anything to negatively, you know, hurt them. But there are those that do, and it just seemed like there would be times where they would get no sleep, and then they come to practice, and we know as coaches that something happened,
Right.
Because the day before they were playing a lot different, and maybe if you have a party Friday night and an early morning Saturday practice and don't get up and eat breakfast and you're out all night, it definitely would affect your
Yeah, you
performance.
can
and we
tell
kill
as a
that.
coach
Yeah,
without having like a direct conversation about
Yeah.
it necessarily.
for sure.
Interesting. So that feeds well into the next question. In a report done by the NCAA, and this is all straight off of their website, quote, student athletes compared with other students on campus report higher rates of heavy episodic drinking or binge drinking. And could you just briefly comment on that?
Yeah, again, I'm not a very credible source on it, but I have seen that, you know, where, again, it's that mentality, whatever they do, whatever the student athlete does, they do it hard and they do it competitive and they want to be better than the next person. So that breeds in and of itself some excessive, whatever it is, right? It could be excessive workouts, it could be excessive on the court, it could be excessive partying. So I can see where student athletes would binge drink, yeah.
Definitely. And now could you just speak more about yourself personally and just about how your transition from being a player and now becoming a head or an associate head coach and maybe soon to be a head coach, and how long that has kind of maybe changed your outlook on certain things or how your kind of experience has like affected your transition to that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that is just giving your team, whoever you're working with, the resources to be successful. And if you do that, then whenever the season's over, whenever the student athlete's career's over, you know you've been able to help them as much as you possibly can.
Sure.
What you don't want are regrets, and if you don't help help whoever it is, if they have a drug problem or an alcohol problem or just say they're lazy in the classroom, whatever the issue is, if you don't help them and give them resources to change, then you're not giving them a chance to be successful.
Definitely.
And I think that's in whatever issue it is with Coach Williams and our staff over the years, that's been the number one priority.